The story of Plink, punished into pink entry. 02, mandate this cycle. 97, grind span 313. AC. Do you hear that? That's not wind. That's the sound of the lower sectors remembering what it's like to breathe without orders. The rubble's still warm from the Dismal Tower we brought down in Vector 34. The Father's fist is smaller now, half of us caught in the collapse, the other half gone before the gas cleared. We regrouped in the ductways beneath the slop channels, dripping black condensate on our heads like a priest blessing us with filth. Clang's voice carried through the tunnels, hoarse, raw. Mandate this. We ain't done. They've started rolling out the cyborg goblins again, machine-socketed skulls, iron jaw hinges, glowing ocular lenses calibrated for loyalty. Each one's a cousin or neighbor with their will replaced by firmware. Zarn calls it upgrading the unfit. I call it gutting the living to make obedient ghosts. We couldn't stay in the lower sectors. The gray patrols were sweeping hard, so we slipped into Sector Verge 12, the air tasting of wet ash and burnt tin. Our new job: hack the Dismal Towers before they're reinforced, cut their mind pulse grids, shut down more than one at a time. The climb was a steel-boned nightmare. My fingers bled on rusted rungs. At the top, the city looked like a graveyard of machines, chimneys coughing gray mist into the dead light. The hacking rig patched together from old scrap drives and stolen overseer link plates chewed through the tower's encryption. 4 towers went dark at once. For one cycle, the obedience fields dropped. For one cycle, goblins in 4 sectors could think without the hum in their heads. Cycle 99, grind span 313 AC. 2 more towers down. Different sector this time. Sector Crankspire. Tomorrow is cycle's end. You know what that means in Thayl. They'll work us until the marrow dries. Hundreds will drop dead in the lines, and Zarn will call it overproduction fatigue. The next day they'll unlock the fridges, the ones they force us to buy from, but never open except on Engorgement Day. You've seen it, the lines of starving goblins clutching 1 ration bar a day, then suddenly being rewarded with mountains of vat meat until their bodies rupture. A trick. A punishment disguised as mercy. That's why we're going further. We're slipping into the work zones during Cycle 100, killing the machines, making sure no one lifts a finger for Zarn. The Father's fist has been planting whispers, green goblins in gray paint, pink goblins like me talking to the pales. We only need a handful to refuse before the others start thinking. Thinking is the enemy of obedience. Cycle 100, grind span, 313 AC. They rose, not many, but enough. Pales dropping tools, pinks spitting in overseer's boots, a low, bitter murmur rolling through the factory yards. I didn't have time to watch. I had my own target, the Gutworks Factory secondary plant, Sector Spindlehook. They call it meat processing. I've seen the vats. I know what's in there. The ones who disappear from the lines don't end up in graves, they end up in the slurry, pressed into the rations they feed us. I couldn't stare too long without retching. So, I worked fast. Charges set on the main feed pipes, timers synced to Clang's signal. Zarn's propaganda blared through the tower loudspeakers. Cycle's end is progress, cycle's end is unity. Clang's whisper in my ear chip. Mandate this. I ran. Cycle 01, grind span 314 AC. The blast ripped the factory open like a rotten boil. Steam and bone shrapnel painted the Gutworks wall. The shockwave sent vats of boiling slurry toppling into the street, scalding patrols where they stood. Somewhere in the chaos, I swear I saw a cyborg goblin hesitate, its glowing eye flickering like it remembered something. I didn't stop to watch. My legs carried me through the burning mist, past the screaming overseers, past the falling steel beams. We're not stopping now, Zarn. Not until the towers crumble, the mind pulse dies, and the last of your pale pills turns to dust. The rusted is rising.